Nagbukas muli ang pagdinig tungkol sa kaso ng mga nawawalang sabungero sa pangunguna ng House of Representatives ngayong Miyerkules, Agosto 27. Naibahagi dito ng namumuno sa forensic group at Police Brigadier General na si Danilo Bacas ang bilang ng mga buto na nakuha nila sa paghahanap sa Taal Lake sa Batangas. Ayon kay Police Brigadier General Bacas, umabot na sa 401 na bilang ng mga buto ng tao ang nakuha nila sa nasabing lugar mula noong July 11 hanggang August 22 ngayong taon. As of August 22 this year, started July 10, we recover 401 human bones. Saad ni Bacas. Dagdag pa niya, nasa 163 na rin ang bilang ng mabuto na kanilang nasuri. Ngunit hindi na nila nagamit ang iba pa dahil hindi na maganda ang lagay ng mga ito. Nilinaw rin ni Bacas na isinailalim na nila sa DNA matching mula sa kaanak ng missing sabungeros ang 163 na buto pero wala rito ang nagpositibo. Ayon kay Police Brigadier General Bacas, hindi pa rin sila natigil na pag-aralan ang mabuto na kanilang natagpuan mula sa Taal Lake. Pero ongoing pa rin po yung examination namin. Pagtatapos niya, matatandaang muling naging mainit ang kaso tungkol sa mga nawawalang sabungero matapos lumabas sa media ang isang whistleblower noong June 18. Isiniwalat noon ng napakilalang si alias Totoy na hindi na raw umano makikita ang mga nawawalang sabungero dahil naitapon na ang mabakay nito sa Taal Lake. Lumabas ang tunay na katauhan ni Totoy bilang si Julie Dondon Patidongan na dating naghahawak sa seguridad at mga farm ng mga pansabong na manok. Ibinunyag ni Patidongan na hindi lang mahigit 34 ang bilang ng mga nawawalang sabungero, kundi aabot pa ito sa 100 mahigit. Nadawit noon ang malalaking pangalan, halimbawa ng negosyanteng si Charlie Atong Ang, actress na si Gretchen Barreto at iba pang mga pulis at individual. Samantala, 2 buwan ang nakalipas mula noong Hunyo, unti-unting naging tahimik ang kaso sa pagtukoy ng mga sangkot at katotohanan sa likod ng manawawalang sabungero.
To our resource person about the DNA, how long will the test take before we have the result?
Actually po ma'am, ang process po natin upon receipt of the sample, it will going to take 7 to 8 days bago po makapag-generate tayo ng...
So since when did you start the DNA testing? Of
Started,
163 bones, according
Opo.
to you.
started July 10, then naka-receive na po kami. Up to now po, nagkakaroon pa rin po kami ng examination, DNA examination.
Yeah. But what did you say about the number of days?
7 to 8 days po yung
You're supposed
process.
to have a result already?
Yes ma'am, may result po na...
How come it's August already?
Ma'am, actually, yung August po ay hindi pa po lahat kumpleto.
Yeah,
Meron
but
pa po tayong...
With regards to the 163 human bones, syempre examine nyo yan separately, di ba? You
Yes.
cannot examine them all together.
Yes
If
ma'am,
it started on July 7,
July
some-
10.
is it July 7?
10 po, 10.
July 10?
Yes ma'am,
Now is August already.
yes po.
And you said 7 to 8 days. So, dapat kahit papano may resulta na tayo.
Yes ma'am, actually may result na po tayo ma'am.
How many match to the 34 missing sabongeros?
Actually ma'am, we could not consider
Disclose.
the number of months ma'am. Kasi yung as of now, we only have about 29 samples from the relatives. So meaning to say, yung mga relatives itong 34 missing sabongero po ay 29 lang po nag-submit ng kanilang sample.
So, that 34 missing sabongeros is now represented for purposes of DNA by 29 relatives
Yes po.
who have submitted their specimen.
Yes po.
Out of the 29 relatives, may nag-match na po ba?
So far ma'am, wala pa pong nagmamatch.
But
Dun
are there results already? For the
meron pa po
163
tayong
human
ongoing ma'am.
bones?
Meron pa po tayong ongoing.
No, please answer the question. May resulta na hubang lumabas out of the 163 human bones?
Yes po ma'am, nakakompleto na po tayo ma'am ng 45. Then out of that viable, yung kumbaga yung viable ma'am na pwedeng makunan ng DNA result. Yung 85 na po yun na viable is 45 po ang natapos. Then mayroon pa po ongoing, not 40.
Okay, dun po sa 45,
Yes, ma'am.
according to you, tapos na, may
Yes.
nag-match po ba with the 29 relatives
So
of the
far,
34 missing sabongeros?
wala po, ma'am.
I wish to ask the DOJ. I remember, if there is no corpus, if there is no body, there is no crime of murder. Ito pa rin ho ba ang jurisprudence natin to this date?
Your Honor, may I allow the prosecutor Reyes to answer?
Yes, please.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I am Prosecuting Attorney John Hag Reyes. For that answer, sa general rule, napag-aralan po natin sa law school na when it comes to the crimes of murder, it is really essential na kailangan ma-discover muna yung body ng victim.
So
Kasi
that is tantamount to saying, if from the 163 bones being examined for DNA, none will match with the 29 relatives, then no case of murder can be filed against your respondents. Do you agree?
With candor, I do not agree, Your Honor, considering that at present, hindi pa naman po tapos yung ating ongoing operation sa Taal Lake. In
No,
fact,
I am referring to the 163 bones.
okay,
Please base your answer on that.
as
Kung
far
doon
as,
sa 163, no? Walang mag-match doon sa 29 relatives. Yun lang 163 na yon. Is it correct to say that we cannot file a murder case out of that 163 bones?
with candor, I still maintain my answer, Your Honor, na posible pa rin po. Kasi po, although meron naman po kasi tayong ibang ebidensya, we can use other pieces of evidence to establish, halimbawa,
Like what?
for instance, a testimony of a witness who
Will the case of murder prosper with a plain testimony without corpus delicti?
as a general rule, as
May
I-
exception na ba sa general rule?
Your Honor, if you are going to base our answer on the results na hawak po ngayon ng PNP Forensic Group, sa ngayon hindi pa po pwede, but hindi po ibig sabihin nun ay at all hindi na talaga tayo makakapag-file ng case for murder, because as I have mentioned, yung ating search and retrieval operation sa Taal Lake is still ongoing. In fact, if my recollection is correct, Commodore Tubilla made mention na at this date, we are
I
still in the search
understand,
quadrant.
Prosecutor Reyes, but I am anchoring my question from the 163 human bones which were submitted already from the DNA test, no? And this is actually a question. Pwedeng sagutin ni Attorney Kalinisan. Nagbago na po ba ang jurisprudence? In the case of murder, can it prosper without the corpus delicti?
Your Honor, if I may, from what I know in the law, body of the crime or corpus delicti does not exactly or necessarily mean that is the body or a dead body. So, the body of the crime means yung pong kabuuan ng ebidensya. So, if you could prove murder by using not a body, using other methods, then that is acceptable, Your Honor. And in fact, there are jurisprudence wherein overwhelming circumstantial evidence can be used to convict a person in a criminal case. So that is allowed, and that has been decided by the Supreme Court in numerous cases, Your Honor.
In this case of missing Sabongero, I hope that there will be result favorable to the investigation. But in the event that there is none, Attorney Kalinisan, halimbawa, hypothetical lang, wala talagang mag-match dun sa human bone which were submitted for DNA testing. What evidence do you think can still support this case?
We can put weight dun po sa testimonial evidence of certain individuals, Your Honor. It's just a matter of appreciation. If we would give due weight dun po sa testimony po ng ating mga star witnesses, Your Honors.
I think with regards to that issue, I am encouraging lawyers to study this one. Kaya bang mag-prosper ng murder case without the body of the crime? By body, I am referring, of course, to the human remains. No? This is one case that the Philippine government is facing right now. Indeed, very sensational. But I do agree, this is a very challenging one. And I wish you all good luck. Sana, you will be able to establish the required amount of evidence to be able to seek justice for the family of these victims. Thank you.
Meron lang ako gusto itanong sa ating PNP, no, ha? Meron akong balita na malaking pera ang gustong ibagsak nung maimpluwensyang tao sa Philippine National Police. Meron pa kayo balitang ganyan?
Mr. Chair, we are not aware of that.
We're not aware of that. Pero nabalitaan namin na magbabagsak ng malaking pera yung idinimanda ng DOJ, di ba? Kaya kayo pa nagdemanda nun, Asek?
Based on record, sir, there are 2 cases have been filed against the suspects of missing Sabongeros. One that happened in Manila Arena and one that happened in San Pablo City.
2 cases have been filed.
Yes, Your Honor.
To whom? Can you mention the names, please?
The CIDG had filed cases before in 2022 against Julie Patidongan, Mark Carlo Zabala, Virgilio Bayog, Roberto Matillano, Jonas Alingasa, and Johnny Consolacion. And this is the case of missing Sabongero that transpired in Manila Arena on January 13, 2022.
What was the case filed against them?
Kidnapping, Your Honor.
So those, the whistleblowers right now have been filed kidnapping, ibig sabihin na? Si Patidongan,
Yes, Your
meron
Honor.
siyang kasong kidnapping? So
Yes,
what you
Your
said?
Honor.
Until now.
Until now.
So therefore, with that, in line with the questioning of Congressman De Lima, you cannot, am I made to understand that you cannot put him in the witness protection program because of that case?
They are now on bail, Mr. Chair, and the study on whether he is qualified to become a witness is now being studied by the DOJ.
So they are not yet qualified to be a state witness.
But the CIDG had considered him as a witness, although there have been cases of kidnapping against them. Sila po kasi ay on bail ngayon, and he surfaced and revealed what happened on the real story about missing Sabongeros. That's why he is now still being considered as a state witness.
Okay. Who are the other personalities that you filed cases to?
There are a group of policemen who are involved in the missing Sabongero that happened in San Pablo City, Your Honor. But I'm sorry because I was not able to bring the proper document about this case.
Are those the 18 that are now in custody? Is that what you're saying? CIDG, can you answer that, please? Meron na kayong mga police in custody na kasama dyan sa Missing Sabongero, di ba?
They're not under our custody, Mr. Chair, but
They're
they're
not
under
under custody.
preventive. Yes, they're under preventive suspension. They were placed under preventive
So,
suspension.
therefore, the newspapers were wrong when they said that they're under custody.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So what's the difference between being in custody and being under protection? Preventive suspension, that pala.
In restrictive custody, Mr. Chair, we have physical we have physical accounting on their bodies. In preventive suspension, sir, they're not performing the regular duties, hence they are because they have been suspended from work, but they are not under our restrictive custody, Mr. Chair.
So right now, what is the status of those 18 policemen that are under preventive suspension?
They are they are still under active service, but they are they are under preventive suspension, Mr. Chair.
Parang floating.
Mr. Chair, I'm sorry. 6 of those 18 have already been dismissed from the service.
They have been dismissed from the service.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Are they still receiving salaries and remuneration? Sino sasagot niyan? Attorney
No,
Calderon ba?
Mr. Chair.
They're not receiving any more salaries.
No, Mr. Chair.
Kailan pa sila na-dismiss? Because you were telling us that they were under preventive suspension pa eh. Until such time that somebody told you about them being dismissed. When were they dismissed?
Mr. Chair, may I refer to the National Police Commission, sir?
Go ahead, Attorney Calnisa.
Yes, sir. Actually, there were 18 names, to clarify your question, Mr. Chair. There were 18 names filed or at least implicated by alias Totoy.
18 what?
18 names of policemen.
18
Your Honor.
names. Okay.
And
Can you reveal those names to us in this committee?
yes, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead. Will you please tell the name?
The first one is Police Colonel Jacinto Rodriguez Malinaw. Second is Police Lieutenant Colonel Ryan J. Eliab Orapa. Third is Major Mark Philip Simborio Almedilla. Fourth is Police Lieutenant Henry Samar Sasaluya. Fifth is Police Executive Master Sergeant Aaron Ezra Lagahit Cabillan. Sixth is Chief Master Sergeant Arturo Opalia de la Cruz Jr. Seventh is Senior Master Sergeant Joey Natanawan Encarnacion. Eighth is Police Senior Master Sergeant Anderson Orozco Abari. Ninth is Police Senior Master Sergeant Mark Anthony Aguilo Manrique. 10th is Police Master Sergeant Michael Jaistin Laveria. 11th is Police Master Sergeant Renan Lagrosa Fulgencio. 12th is Police Staff Sergeant Alfredo Uy Andes. 13 is Police Staff Sergeant Edmond Hernandez Munoz. 14th, Police Corporal Fabri Opalia de la Cruz. 15, Police Corporal Angel Joseph Pero Martin. 16 is Police Staff Sergeant Daryl Gaceta Paghangaan. 17th is Patrolman Rigel Sanggalang Brosas. 18th is Patrolman Roy Magdayo Navarrete. Since not all of them are in active service, we're only able to file formal charges against 12 of them, Mr. Chair.
What are the charges filed against them? What is the very reason why they were dismissed?
There are multiple reasons for those who have been dismissed prior to the NAPOLCOM filing, Mr. Chair, if I may.
Go ahead.
Police Lieutenant Henry Samar Sasaluya was previously dismissed effective March 15, 2023 in admin case number NIAS NMP 22-073 for grave misconduct, grave irregularity in the performance of duty, grave dishonesty, and conduct unbecoming of a police officer. For Police Master Sergeant Michael Haistin Claveria, he was dismissed for 2 cases, effective December 29, 2022 for the first case in admin case number NIAS NMP 22076 for grave misconduct and conduct unbecoming of a police officer, and another case effective March 15, 2023 for admin case number NIAS NMP 22073 for grave misconduct, grave irregularity in the performance of duty, grave dishonesty, and conduct unbecoming of a police officer. Another policeman, Police Staff Sergeant Daryl Gaketa Paghangaan, was previously dismissed effective December 29, 2022 for admin case number NIAS NMP 22-076 for grave misconduct and conduct unbecoming of a police officer. Another policeman, Patrolman Miguel Sanggalang Brosas, was dismissed for 2 cases. The first one effective December 29, 2022 for admin case number NIAS NMP 22-076 for grave misconduct and conduct unbecoming of a police officer, and another one effective March 15, 2023 for admin case number NIAS NMP 22073 for grave misconduct, grave irregularity in the performance of duty, grave dishonesty, and conduct unbecoming of a police officer. And the last one, at least for the alias Totoy cases, is Patrolman Roy Magdayo Navarrete, who had 2 cases which caused his dismissal. First one is effective December 29, 2022 for admin case number NIAS NMP 22-076 for grave misconduct, conduct unbecoming of a police officer, and another one effective March 15, 2023 in admin case number NIAS NMP 2022-073 for grave misconduct, grave irregularity in the performance of duty, grave dishonesty, and conduct unbecoming of a police officer, Your Honor.
I was looking at the cases that is actually related to the missing Sabongero. So I'd like to recognize Congresswoman Jinky here. She has
Chair-
a very important question to you.
Chairman
Kalinisan, ma'am.
Kalinisan. This is actually a continuation of my questions to you earlier. Final na po ba yung dismissal ng mga police personnel? Or did they file any appeal to those cases which remains pending in the NAPOLCOM?
This is not pending with the NAPOLCOM, Your Honor. This was dismissal through an IAS case. So I understand the concern of the chair. In fact, if I may give additional problems, those inactive service have also multiple cases. Some decided, some may be pending, and they're actually numerous, Mr. Chair.
You mean, Chairman, apart from the administrative cases which originate from the missing Sabongeros, there are other
Yes,
pending
Mr. Chair.
cases involving the same police personnel?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Even those currently in the active service, Mr. Chair.
And may we know where these cases are pending? Which office?
Actually, if I may say, they're not actually pending. They were exonerated. Not with NAPOLCOM. Not with NAPOLCOM.
How do you define exoneration? It is not even an acquittal. Pag sinabi mo exoneration, absolve from liability.
Yes,
But may I ask, was there ever a resolution whether they are administratively liable or not?
If I may, and not to point to another office, Mr. Chair, maybe someone can assist me. The IAS is actually present.
Mukhang
These cases were-
nagpapasahan yung PNP at saka
Not
NAPOLCOM.
No, Mr. Chair, because these are not our cases. To be very candid, I'm very happy because all of the law enforcement agencies are sharing information.
This is the apprehension that I am trying to raise earlier in the Committee on Public Order and Safety. The more avenues that we have, I think the more confusing it is for the public to understand. And while the information that we're trying to impart to the public is that Napolcom ang pulis ng pulis. This is one sensational case where you are being asked, and yet it was IAS who actually resolved the cases of dismissal. That is referring to the people from PNP who were named in the issues of missing Sabongero.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Balikan po natin yung PNP, IAS.
Yes, Your Honor. Based on the records of the Internal Affairs Service, there were policemen who were named in the Mrs. Sabongeros who had previous administrative cases filed before the IAS.
Ano pong status na nun, yung previous
Based on
administrative
the
cases?
records, Your Honor, these cases were filed circa 2022, 2021, before my assumption. And our records, they were exonerated. Now, the term exoneration actually refers to administrative cases. Not an acquittal, because an acquittal more or
I
less
understand.
refer to
So,
case.
exoneration is equivalent to acquittal in administrative
Yes,
cases.
yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your
Okay.
Honor. That would be the equivalent. And that's only on the basis of the record check of these policemen who were implicated in the missing Sabongeros. So right now, Your Honor, insofar as what our Vice Chair and Executive Officer and our Napolcom boss, Attorney Caliniza, mentioned, the 6 were dismissed on the level of the Internal Affairs Service. If I recall correctly, Your Honor, but our DPRM, our Directorate for Personnel and Records Management, would be able to answer clearer. As far as the PNP is concerned, I understand that administratively there's already been a dismissal. On whether this has been appealed, I am not aware. We are not privy anymore, Your Honor, because we only act at our level up to the point of the Chief PNP.
So,
But,
may we know, sir, who is the office or which office is aware whether this police personnel appealed their dismissal from
Well,
the service?
on the part of the Philippine National Police, Your Honor, it would be the DPRM, the Directorate for Personnel and Records Management. They would be in a better position, and we can ask them, Your Honor, to submit a report to this committee to give you a status of at least all of the 6 who were initially adjudged for dismissal.
Do you mean to say that the appeal for these cases are being lodged
It's
or
going to be
lodged with the
lodged in-
DPRM?
No, it's lodged with the NAPOLCOM, Your Honor. But administratively, if the decision of the Internal Affairs Service is affirmed by the Chief PNP, that dismissal order will be issued by the DPRM. So they would know at that level whether this dismissal has been effected at the administrative level for the Chief PNP. And then beyond that, the individual respondents have the ability to appeal. So we are not aware of that so far as the Internal Affairs Service is concerned. We are not aware if such an appeal has already been made, Your Honor.
Because Napolcom is not aware whether an appeal has been filed by this
we will
police
check
personnel.
Your Honor, please, and we will submit to the committee so we can verify.
May
with
we
our-
know the date of the dismissal?
We don't have the. Well, Your Honor, this is just a briefer, but all of them, the 6 named, the date of dismissal would have been March 15, 2023.
And may we know as well the prescriptive period for filing an appeal?
Under the rules of NAPOLCOM, I think it's 15 days, Your Honor.
15
From-
days is
from-
very
from-
short.
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
So by March 30, the period to file an appeal should have lapsed already. Am I correct, sir?
Yes, Your Honor, but we are not privy to the fact of an appeal because that's personal to the respondent, and they have to appeal to the NAPOLCOM, which is the appellate body.
With
Your Honor.
regards to the other administrative cases pending before the IAS, may we know ilan po ba yung period provided for you to resolve?
There are no pending cases before the ES, Your Honor. As I mentioned, all of those implicated insofar as they have previous administrative cases, all of them have been resolved circa 2022, 2023, Your Honor. So
where
to
they
all of
were
those,
exonerated, as
they
you
were
said.
exonerated, as
But
mentioned
under
by...
your rules, sir, under
Yes.
your rules, if somebody files a complaint against a police personnel with the IAS,
Yes, Your
may I know if there is certain period provided within which you're supposed to resolve?
Yes, Your Honor. We are supposed to resolve it within, as of the present now, is 120 days, Your Honor.
120 days?
Yes, Your Honor. Including from the time of the lodging of the complaint up to the issuance of the resolution, Your Honor.
Sa NAPOLCOM ba, 120 days rin lang if it is under your original jurisdiction?
No, ma'am. Actually, under the rules, it's all universal. Actually, if you really look at it, 90 days po dapat lahat eh. Pero yun nga po, since we recognize the need for swift justice, Your Honor, ang mando ho natin through our letter, instruction from the Vice Chairman, is that all cases must be 60 days. So ngayon po, nagpumilit po kami na lahat po ng kaso na bagong lodge po sa amin, tapusin po natin ng 60 days. Kasama po yung uubos ng backlog po, Mr. Chair, precisely because we are seeing this problem na rogue cops still remain to be rogue cops, and that is very dangerous. Yung pong speed of disposing cases works for both the complainant and the respondent. Yung pong complainant, kung tunay po na tama po yung final niya complaint, madidismiss po yung mga pulis kaagad. And of course, a cop which has a rogue cop with uniform is dangerous. Kung inosente naman po yung pulis, ma-absuelto po siya. At hindi na po niya kailangan isipin na meron po siyang kaso na pending na 1, 2, 10, 20, 25 years. So, swiftness po is essential po, Your Honor.
Kanina po, Mr. Chair, the NAPOLCOM reported that there are about 10,000 to 12,000 backlog. Does the NAPOLCOM
No, Mr. Chair. We are now at 2,000 and
2,000,
counting.
which you intend to finish within the year?
Yes, Mr. Chair. We're averaging po 45 cases to 55 cases a day.
A day?
Trying to resolve cases po, Your Honor.
Yun
mahirap
po
po.
bang 2,000 cases, Chairman? Does it include already those which are pending before the PNP chief and with the IAS?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Pero po, syempre, we are not in a static environment. That number is changing because we are also doing motu proprio investigations and other people do file cases with us. Lalo na po ngayon na medyo miski papano, kahit po wala pong awareness po yung NAPOLCOM, nagkakaroon po ng konti. So may mga pumapasok na rin po na iba pa pong kaso, Mr. Chair. But like I mentioned, we have an awareness problem in the National Police Commission. The ordinary person, the magtatako, the tindera, the housewife, does not know what NAPOLCOM is, na siya po ang pulis ng pulis. Siya po talaga ang pinaka-pulis ng pulis. Siguro po with the help of the committee, with the help of the House of Representatives, you can also assist us also in conducting our investigations. Taling-taliho rin ho kami. Candidly, wala rin ho kaming CIF. Lahat po ng investigasyon namin, La Patria ho kami lahat. Mahirap naman ho yun. May dangerous po na we have to accept that investigating uniformed people, medyo napakahirap po noon. We're just offering our bodies literally for the service of God and country. Your Honor.
Tony, ano yung CIF? Yung confidential fund ba yan?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
Wala kayong confidential fund?
Zero po. Zero, Your Honor. So, ano lang po talaga. Tigas na mukha lang po kami, Your Honor.
Bakit hindi kayo humingi sa DBM?
Hindi na ho kami umabot po, Your Honor. Kakaupo ko lang po. I just got appointed a few months ago. Maybe this is an opportune time po, Your Honor, for the assistance of the House of Reps. I was appointed roughly 3-4 months ago. Saktong deadline po ng DBM. So, yun na po ang pasahan.
Pasensya na, hindi budget hearing to. Pero,
O nga po eh.
sa
Pasensya na
budget
po.
hearing siguro, ano natin, Congressman Jinky, no ha? Pero anyway, ganito, no? Before Congressman Sia would like to ask questions too. Pero, quite confusing ito eh. Attorney Dulay, Attorney Kulinisan. Sapagkat kanina narinig ko na under preventive suspension. Tapos, na-dismiss na. Oh, tapos, exonerated na. Gusto kong malaman, sinong na-exonerate? 12 ba ang na-exonerate? ilan na dismiss? Ibig sabihin nung na-dismiss, they're no longer in active service, di ba? Sapagkat narinig ko rin kanina, nasa active service pa yung iba eh. So we'd like to find out from you kung sino nasa active service, kung sino na-dismiss, yung na-exonerate, at hindi lamang yan, sino ang implicated doon sa missing sa Bongeros?
Mr. Chair, if I may, again, we're just limited to the complaint of Julie Patidongan because there are other complainants also. Meron din po kaming motu proprio. So meron pa po kaming ongoing investigations. So we're just talking about the Julie Patidongan complaint. Yung pong 12 of the 18, all 12 who are still in active service, we have ordered, National Police Commission and Bank has ordered the preventive suspension of these 12. So that is Malinaw, Orapa, Almedilla, Cabillan, De La Cruz, Encarnacion, Manrique, Abari, Andes, Muñoz, Martin, and Fulgencio. The other 6, we don't have jurisdiction because they have already been dismissed from the police service. Separated na po. Kung wala na po sa police service, wala na kong jurisdiction ng NAPOLCOM.
Hindi kasama yung 12.
Yung pong 12 po, pending po
Among the 18, yan 12 yan, under preventive suspension pa.
Yes, Your Honor.
So
And
yung iba, dismiss na.
dismissed na po.
Okay.
For other cases po, not sabong related, Your Honor.
Ilan yung exonerated?
Iba pa po yun, Your Honor. Yung po yung mga active. Yung po sa 12 na to, na naka-preventive suspension, marami po sa kanila ang merong exoneration. I'm absolving IG
Teka,
Dulay sa these
Attorney,
previous cases.
ang pinag-uusapan natin yung implicated doon sa missing sa Bongeros.
Tama
So
po.
we'd like to find out how many policemen were actually implicated doon sa missing sa Bongeros na sinabi ni Patidongan.
I'm not privy to that statement of Patidongan. I think si Vice Chair Kalinisan would have the number, Your Honor, because Patidongan filed the complaint before NAPOLCOM, Mr. Chair.
Before Napolcom.
Before NAPOLCOM.
So please, Antonio Kalinisan, ano pong sabi niyo?
Opo. To simplify po, sa Patidongan, sa Julie Patidongan complaint affidavit, he implicated 18, 12 of which are still in active service, and these 12 now have been formally charged with the NAPOLCOM, and they are now under preventive suspension. Dun po-
Preventive suspension because they were implicated.
Yes, Your Honor. The charge of guilt is strong, and they might get to interfere with the integrity of the investigation. That's why the National Police Commission ordered the preventive suspension of these 12, Your Honor.
Teka muna, linawin natin, no? So they were given preventive suspension because they were implicated sa missing sa Bongeros.
Yes, Your Honor.
And that was the complaint filed by the whistleblower.
Julie Totoy Patidongan, Your Honor. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, you told us kanina there are other complainants. Who are the other complainants?
The brother of Julie Patidongan, Your Honor, Elakim T. Patidongan, he actually sued 3 more people, if I may name them.
Go ahead.
Police Brigadier General Romeo J. Macapas, Police Lieutenant Colonel Rosel D. Encarnacion, and Police Captain Jarius Vincent Consina, Your Honor.
Sino po sila? They are the complainants? What?
Di po, sila po yung respondents po dun
Sila
sa
yung
complaint.
respondent.
Opo, sa
Okay.
complaint filed by...
Meron pa nag-complain na mga kaanak ng biktima?
Yes, Your Honor. Kasama po dun sa Julie Patidongan complaint, sir. They are witnesses, corroborating witnesses po dun sa complaint po ni Julie Patidongan alias Totoy, Your Honor.
Narinig ko din sa ibang mga media releases that some of those policemen implicated ay kasama din doon sa tinatawag nating war on drugs. Were they?
From our, not to jump the gun, Your Honor, it appears so.
How many of them? Sapagkat meron ako nalaman na may 2 that are actually mentioned to have been involved in the reward system on the war on drugs.
For all ultimate candor, Your Honor, I was able to speak with a possible complainant during our investigations. they are supposed to file a complaint also with the National Police Commission, and we are awaiting that complaint to be filed with us, hopefully sometime very soon, Your Honor. From their narration, it appears that the same names have been implicated in the deaths of their relatives, Your Honor.
Okay. Attorney Dulay, you said that you filed administrative case against them, and because of that, they were dismissed.
Your Honor, the cases were handled by the Internal Affairs Service. These are non-motu proprio cases, meaning it arose from a complaint. This happened around circa 2020 or 2021, Your Honor, Mr. Chair.
Before the missing Sabongero.
Long before the missing
Yeah.
Sabongeros. So, I think the message that's being sent, Mr. Chair, is that those policemen who were implicated in the Julie Patidongan affidavit had a record of administrative cases prior to the missing Sabongero case. And insofar as the records are concerned, they were resolved and they were exonerated of those administrative cases, Your Honor, Mr. Chair.
But the mandate given to the IAS is not only to file administrative cases, but also criminal charges. Am I right?
It's part of the mandate by the law, Mr. Chair. The issue that we have now is that there are no implementing rules insofar as the exercise of that mandate to file criminal charges, because there have been no process or procedure given as to how IAS would, in effect, implement its mandate to file criminal charges, because there's a legal issue involved, Mr. Chair. First, there is the prosecutorial service under the Department of Justice, which is really in charge of filing criminal charges and information. So we have to come up with rules so that we are clear as to what our mandate will be to file criminal charges. Will it be going through the National Prosecution Service first, or is it something that the Internal Affairs Service can file directly in court? Which is a question that still needs to be discussed, not just within the PNP, but we'll seek guidance from NAPOLCOM as well as the Department of Justice, Mr. Chair. Your Honor.
Attorney Kalinisan, aside from issuing preventive suspensions on them, were there criminal charges filed against those?
None yet, Your Honor, because that's now within the ambit or within the territory of the Department of Justice. Ulitin ko po, nagtutulungan po kami. So, all criminal aspects of the case, we course through them, particularly the Secretary of Justice po, Your Honor.
How about the complaints of the relatives of the victims? They complained. So, were they only corroborating witnesses, for example?
That goes to the merit po, Your Honor. I would love to answer, pero I'm also part of those who will decide on the case, Your Honor.
Okay. Congressman Sia, you have a question?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I just want to untangle some well-connected information for better understanding. Ms. Attorney Kalinisan, no? You mentioned about 18 personalities or police officers that have been charged or at least linked with the the missing Sabongeros, am I correct, no? And
Yes, Your Honor.
And you mentioned about 12 of them have already been charged with the administrative cases, and six of these names were exonerated. Am I correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So let me just
Not exonerated for the Sabong, but they have been
not well connected. Yeah, not connected with the missing
wait.
Sabongeros.
From the 18, Your Honor. So, from the 18, 12 have been formally charged, and 6 have been previously exonerated for some other, I think previously dismissed for some other charge, Your Honor.
So it's not well connected with these missing Sabongeros.
They are connected in the way that Julie Patidongan implicated them,
Okay,
but they are not charged. The 6 have not been formally charged with the National Police Commission.
Yeah, this is why I want to ask Ias. Now, since 6 of them have been exonerated on issues or charges, partly covers the issue on the investigation of the missing Sabongeros. How can that investigation push through? Since part of the part of the charges would cover administrative cases that have already been exonerated. So how do you continue on building up a case which charges partly been exonerated by IAS?
Mr. Chair, there are still ongoing investigations for everyone concerned. So not because they have been not charged formally because they are not policemen anymore, they're still included in our list of those being investigated. In fact, there are names with the permission of the chair, which we cannot yet reveal, that we're also investigating as of now. But there are no complainants who have filed cases against them, because we have found certain links that maybe these people, these police officers, may have participated in or may have knowledge or have their fingerprints on the missing Sabongeros case, Your Honor.
So let me get it straight, no, para maintindihan ko po, Attorney Kalinis. This is because about this is yeah, you want to respond first before I ask my question again. Yeah,
If I may, Your Honor,
July,
Mr.
yeah.
Chair. Just to put everything in context, Mr. Chair, Your Honors, the 18 policemen implicated in the Julie Patidongan affidavit, of the 18, 6 were dismissed long before the Julie Patidongan
And
affidavit.
these cases are not in a way connected with the
These
missing
are,
Sabongeros.
I would not even say they were connected, because the dismissal happened way back in 2023, which was a year or two before this missing Sabongeros issue came about, Your Honor, Mr. Chair. Of the 6 who were dismissed, there were also remaining 12 people in the affidavit which are still in the active service. And being in the active service, they are still within the jurisdiction of the NAPOLCOM as well as the Philippine National Police. And of the 12 remaining still in the active service, a record check of their service record would reveal that they had faced, prior to the missing Sabongero issue also, administrative cases for which they were exonerated. So that is the context by which the 12 in the 12 of the 18 and 6 of the 18 are being looked at right now, Your Honor. So it's relevant only, Mr. Chair and Your Honor, because if the policeman was dismissed way back in 2023, administratively, both the IAS as well as the NAPOLCOM would no longer have jurisdiction over them because they've been dismissed from the service. How would they hold them accountable? Then there's only one avenue left, basically, and it's a criminal prosecution for those 6 who are no longer in the active service, but not for an administrative case. Your Honor. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for that. Basta, can you still, for example, if all of these 18 and those who have been dismissed or exonerated, all of a sudden, with the investigation of the missing Sabongeros, came out with an evidence that may, for the NAPOLCOM or for the IAS, may again revisit the previous decision. Can that still be legally binding for the filing of a criminal charge?
Actually, Your Honor, there's already a case before NAPOLCOM. They already filed a complaint. And of the 12, it's a new case actually, Your Honor, the one that's being heard by Vice Chair Kalinisan. It's an entirely new administrative case for the 12. Because insofar as the 6 are concerned, we no longer have jurisdiction over them. They're dismissed from the service. But for the 12, it's a new case actually. It's a new case for the 12 policemen based on the affidavit of the new whistleblower, Julie Patidongan. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Congressman Jinky, would you like to interject? Do you have a question before I continue?
As for clarity, Chairman Kalinisan, out of 12,
Yes, ma'am.
which has pending cases with the NAPOLCOM in relation to the missing Sabongeros, tama po ba? Yes.
Yes,
May
Your
I
Honor,
know kung mayroon na pong na-dismiss, and if so, ilan po ang na-dismiss na?
Wala pa po, ma'am. These are current
I see.
cases with not yet 60
Alright.
days have it lapsed. Your Honor.
So it's clear now.
Yes.
Yung na-dismiss na unang 6, it has no relation at all with respect to the missing Sabongeros. And the 12 remaining their cases are still pending with the NAPOLCOM.
Yes, Your Honor.
No one out of the 18 personnel named by Patidongan have been dismissed.
None yet, Your Honor.
None yet. Okay. So, would you like to continue first?
I have a few questions.
Okay.
The last question lang.
Oh,
Kanina may sinasabi ka, Chairman Kalinisan, grave misconduct and conduct unbecoming of a police officer. Sino pong tinutukoy nyo doon?
Lahat po sila, ma'am. 12 po yun. For the Julie Patidongan complaint affidavit.
But you are referring only to pending cases.
The current case being heard with the NAPOLCOM related to the Sabong case.
Yes.
The
So, yun yung kasong nakafile sa kanila. Grave misconduct and conduct unbecoming. But this administrative cases are not yet resolved.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chair, yeah, may I-
Bago si Congressman Masia, gusto ko lang maging malinaw to. Kasi iba yung sinasabi ng pahayagan eh. Di ba? I mean, we would like to make it clear sa committee ko, no? Sapagkat taong bayan nakikinig dito. Attorney Kalinisan, pakilinaw nga kasi, okay, ibig sabihin, wala pang naipafile na anumang criminal charges sa complaint ni Patidongan. Wala pa.
I think that's a better question to be answered by
DOJ.
the DOJ.
DOJ.
Yes, sir.
Kaya, bago gusto ko tinanong DOJ, no? Itong tanong ko, Attorney Dulay, no? Doon sa 18 ng mga pulis, okay? Ilan doon ang nasa jurisdiction nyo pa? 12.
12 only, Mr. Chair, Your Honor.
Yung the rest, wala na.
Wala na po sapagkat na-dismiss na po sila.
Yan. Ibig sabihin, kahit sila ay na-dismiss administratively, wala nang jurisdiction kayo.
Wala na po, Mr.
Ibig
Chair.
sabihin, yung NAPOLCOM, wala nang jurisdiction, correct?
Yes, sir. However, Mr. Chair,
Yes.
we are coordinating with the Department of Justice for case build-up as we speak. So, nagbibigay po tayo, nagpapalit po tayo ng impormasyon sa kanila.
Before
I wish to
before
interject,
the
Mr.
debate
Chair.
to the justice answer,
Can I
siguro, meron
Can I
pa tanong
finish
si
before you
Congressman Masia.
interject?
One last point. Baka makalimutan ko. If the dismissal of the 6 out of 18 personnel is not yet final, or even if they still have pending appeal, does the IAS or the NAPOLCOM still have jurisdiction over them?
First, ma'am, the cases have been resolved and they are final. So, wala na ho tayong pag-uusapan doon. But theoretically, assuming, kunwari, pending, kunwari lang po, meron pa pong tayong jurisdiction because there's a live
I
appeal.
think you need to be clear. And what we must consider is the period for filing an appeal. Kung nag-lapse na ang period for filing an appeal, then that dismissal order becomes final.
Final
In
na
which
po.
case, both the IAS and the NAPOLCOM have no more jurisdiction.
Correct, ma'am. Final na po. So, in this case, the 6 have already been dismissed with finality, Your Honor.
No basis for administrative case. Criminal case only.
Tama po, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. DOJ, Mr. Chair, are we correct in our impression that this is still an ongoing investigation? As to the criminal aspect, wag muna tayong those
Tapos,
mentioned, yes, officers.
Mr. Chair, about dun sa kaso na
Missing
denial,
Sabongero.
criminal case filed before the DOJ, as reported by the CIDG director kanina, there are 62 persons have been charged before the DOJ. At hindi ko man po hawak dito yung official document, I believe that the 18 police officers are included in the 62
Yeah, but has there
persons.
been an official charges filed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ilan,
And
anong cases po yun? Ilan daw?
kagaya po ng na-report
aking
ko kanina,
kasama.
ito po yung mga kaso na hinahawakan ngayon ng DOJ. Violation of Republic Act 10353, an act defining and penalizing enforce for involuntary disappearance. Article 267 of the Revised Penal Code, yung pong multiple counts of kidnapping and serious illegal detention. Meron din pong Article 248 of RPC multiple counts of murder, and Republic Act 3019, Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act, PD 1829, Obstruction of Justice, Republic Act 11983, New Philippine Passport Act, and Article 212 of the Revised Penal Code, Corruption of Public Officials. And these complaints have undergone evaluation and have been certified to be sufficient for purposes of the conduct of preliminary investigation.
So these are all these crimes that have been committed. These are charged against
The
62
yes,
individuals, of which 18 or
are
6,
included. Yes, Your Honor.
6 of them were mentioned by NAPOLCOM. Tama po ba? Or the 18?
Kasama po yung
Kasama.
Ang pagkakaalam ko po, hindi ko manawak yung official document, ay the 18 police officers are included
Yeah,
in the 62
18, but 6
persons.
of them have been exonerated, and sabi ni NAPOLCOM, as to the criminal charges aspects, sa DOJ na yun. Tama po ba, NAPOLCOM?
Opo, yung 18 po nasa DOJ po
Okay,
yun.
18 nga. So 62, para klaro lang po, 62 of these names, 18 of which are mentioned by NAPOLCOM. Tama po ba? Na may nasa...
Konesiyan, hindi daw dyan sa Konesiyan. Okay. Ako hindi, Attorney Cruz, hindi ako abogado ha. Mukha lang ako abogado. No?
Hindi rin po ako abogado.
Puro abogado to kadama ko eh. Oh. Kami dalawa hindi abogado. Anyway, ganito. Wala pa talaga kayong na-file na charges. All of them are under investigation. You mentioned to us the charges to be filed. Pero wala pang na-file. Because all of them are still under investigation. Am I right?
The charges now are under preliminary investigation
Nasa
being
fiscal na.
conducted by the DOJ.
Nasa fiscal na.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh. So, ibig sabihin, ganito yan ha. Pero ako naniniwala, delayed justice is injustice. Correct? Justice delayed is injustice. And justice denied. Correct?
Yes,
Oo.
Your Honor.
Ngayon, ito ha. Ilang araw pinag-usapan sa dyaryo to. Oh. Tapos bigla nawala. So, ang pinag-usapan na yung isa pang mamaya nawala na. Oh, kung hindi namin inopen ito ngayon, itong issue ng Mingin sa Bungeros, mawawala na eh. Totoo lang, mawawala na. So I would like to find out from the Department of Justice, ano na ang inyong ginagawa so far in relation to the missing sa Bungeros? So far, kailan ito mapupunta sa korte?
Base po sa record ng Department of Justice, ito po ay na-file ng CIDG noong August 1 of this year.
Yeah.
Opo. And then there will be the DOJ will be conducting a 10-day evaluation process after receiving these charges. So ngayon po, the National Prosecution Service had submitted a certification about the evaluation that they had conducted, that the charges, the witnesses, the evidence are sufficient enough for the conduct of preliminary investigation. So after this preliminary investigation po, dito na po magagawa yung resolution by the DOJ to be filed before the court.
Mr.
Congressman, okay.
Maraming salamat po,
So
Mr. Chair.
Congressman Tony Roman muna, and then afterwards, Congressman Sia, and then Congresswoman Luisto. Apat na lang kami dito eh. Kaya ayoko lang manatili na hanggang gabi to eh.
To the DOJ. So just understand, there's 62 charges against 62 respondents in the preliminary investigation, correct? Is that one case or 62 individual cases? How many cases? Is it? I am just trying to understand if there's any kind of consolidation involved here, or it is like 62 individual cases running side by side.
I cannot directly answer the question because the National Prosecution Service, we are not directly with the access on the documents of the National Prosecution Service. And there are designated prosecutors who are handling these cases. Hindi ko po ngayon masasagot ang particular na tanong.
How many prosecutors are handling the case?
I think there will be a team of prosecutors will be designated for these cases.
Do you have a number in mind?
Normally, for sensational and big cases like this, at least 5 to 10 prosecutors are being designated.
Handling the same investigation or handling 5 distinct investigations? What I'm driving at is this. If this case is consolidated, then it's more efficient. It's a more efficient way of handling it, and therefore faster. But if you have parallel proceedings, parallel investigations, then it's gonna slow down the process, right? Because there's no coordination. So what I'm driving at is, I'm just trying to understand how is this being handled. Are there 62 individual separate cases running side by side, or are they lumped together in some manner?
Sir, we are, for the number 62, we are only referring about the persons who have been charged before this case. But they are the respondents. But the cases that I have mentioned, there are 7 provisions of law that have been violated by these 62 people.
Yes, but you could allege multiple violations in one complaint.
Yes.
So I'm still asking how many investigations are taking place.
There are, ito po kasi ay kaso na hinahawakan ng team of investigators. So, when we count the investigations being conducted, siguro po hindi natin pwedeng sabihin na 62 investigations are being conducted. Ito po sabay-sabay na iniimbestigahan.
Here's a different question. Sorry to cut you off. How many complaints were filed against the 62?
When we count the complaints filed, the charges I've mentioned, there are 7 cases
So 7
against
cases.
62 persons.
Now, you mentioned earlier they have passed a preliminary review, right? To see
Yes.
if there's any reason to proceed with a preliminary investigation.
Yes, Your Honor.
So at what particular point, to the question of Senator Laila de Lima, do we get to figure out whether any one of them qualifies for protection under the WPP?
Alam po ninyo, sa hirap po ng investigasyon na ginawa ng ating mga kapulisan, ay although ang ating whistleblower ay ang pangunahing naging suspect before in 2022. But this time, is telling everything. So, mahirap man pong sabihin na hindi siya dapat paniwalaan dahil siya ay isang pangunahing akusado sa kasong ito. But he's telling the truth kung ano talaga po ang nangyari. Kaya po, sa aming investigation, from the police, from the CIDG, until makarating po ito sa DOJ, we consider this whistleblower as a credible witness.
So therefore, although he hasn't been recognized as a state witness, to your mind, that is fait accompli, that eventually he will be a state witness.
Yes, we hope.
And that the rest is just a matter of formality.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is there an indication of when that will be formalized, that he will be designated a state witness?
The evaluation for him to be subjected under the Witness Protection Program is ongoing, but the PNP had assured that our witnesses are safe as of this time.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, may I continue? Mr. Chair, thank you. Since we are in the business of filing charges, I'd like to go back to the online sabong. PNP, is there a case that you can file, for example, those who are online operators of illegal sabong? Meron ba kayong pwedeng i-filean apart from, I think this was touched earlier by Congressman Suntay. Ang concern niya, and I agree with him, let's not focus ourselves in terms of mitigating or in terms of addressing the illegal operation online on blocking or removing their sites alone. Is there a legal process or a case or a violation that you can come up with in filing an actual case against online operators of Sabong?
Yes, Your Honor, good afternoon. I am Police Colonel Artem Yuricamo, the Chief Cyber Patrolling and Intelligence Unit of Anti-Cybercrime Group. With regards to Isabong, as of today, Your Honor, we are monitoring those sites. Every now and then,
Sir, sorry to cut you off. Is there a law, a violation, specific violation you can use to file charges for all of these 30? How many thousands of them have already been taken down? I'm pretty sure you can only get it from the ICT, the records. But is there a actual filing cases of actual charges against online operators?
as of now, Your Honor, we have not yet filed a case because first, we need the identity of the suspect. Then, second
So,
is-
ibig sabihin, wala pong nafa-filean.
Yes, so
The
far
ICT, how hard it is for you to be able to at least provide details for the PNP or any institution or any law enforcement agencies that we have for a filing of an actual charges. I guess this is the concern of Congressman Bong Suntay, which all of us here agree. Kasi are we really into business of blocking lang or ano? Kasi we're talking about illegal that would constitute doing it, that would constitute a certain penalties, di ba? Apart from blocking it online. How hard it is for the ICT for you to be able to at least provide cases kasi wala pa daw kaso na talagang tama po ba, Colonel? Wala pang kaso na na-file, no?
Yes, Your
Because
Honor.
of what's the reason for you what actually short-handed lahat kayo, no? I mean, in the filing of cases, what are the reasons for you to facing difficulty in filing actual charges?
First, Your Honor, is the anonymity of the subject
Okay.
or the suspect.
Uh-huh.
Number two, most of the Isabong sites are using VPN. In
Okay.
fact, this morning, we have monitored that the VPN located in Canada.
Okay. DICT? Oh, yeah. What actually are the challenges? Kasi gusto namin gumawa eh. We want also to legislate or introduce something that would capacitate either the PNP and the DICT in running after these operators. What are the are the challenges? Kasi sinabi ng PNP. Do you agree with his assessment that it is hard to file actual charges against this online operator simply because of anonymity?
Your Honor, I fully agree with
Uh-huh.
the stand of the PNP po. Yun po talaga, the very nature of the internet offers anonymity to its users. So ito po ang ginagamit din ho ng mga kriminal para makapagtago po. So ang sinasabi po natin na gumagamit po sila ng mga anonymity tools, particularly virtual private networks, hindi po madaling ma-trace. Kaya yung attribution po ng crime over the internet, medyo may kahirapan po.
What
Compounded.
about sir? What about those? How do they place their bets in Isabong? Gumagamit ho ba sila ng mga legitimate online e-wallets and yung mga payment platforms? Do they also use
Usually po, these operators have their own applications. Kung
that?
saan po kayo
So
tatay.
separate siya, hindi sila
Apo.
gumagamit ng ano. Yeah, okay. Thank you for that. Mr. Chair, I guess it's time for this committee perhaps to contemplate on how we can improve on our policing, no? Not just simply to block certain sites, but to actually run after those operators if possible, no? Kasi I guess, tama po, I agree with Congressman Bong Suntay, dun actually nagkakaroon ng problema. Kasi siyempre, kung wala talagang actual filing of cases, walang arrest, siyempre, ikaw, ba jumping ka lang, block niyo yung site ko, lumipat ako ng kabilang room. So, Mr. Chair, I guess that is something. I know it's a challenge for this committee, but it is is a subject matter that we need to explore because I agree with the first with the Director Navarro that online has also become now an issue of human rights concerns, no? Naging part na rin po yan. Or was it Director Navarro who said that? I guess I misquoted somebody's. Yes, Attorney General. Thank you, Mr. Chair, and that would be my last question and manifestation.
Thank you, Congressman Sia. Pinag-uusapan lang namin dito ni Congresswoman Luis Tru. Bakit ang hirap niyong i-control ang internet? Bakit dun sa North Korea hindi nakakapasok? Is it because they are a communist country and we are a democratic country? Ganun ba yun? Kahit sa, sa Malaysia, is not a socialist country, pero mahirap makapasok eh. Bakit sa atin napakadali?
Your Honor, opo, it's actually a very complex situation naman po. Us in the Philippines observing our civil rights. And the technology of the internet is really complex. Like, yung isa po, not to be very technical about it, but yung atin pong internet protocol na ginagamit, malaki pa rin po sa Pilipinas, is under Internet Protocol version 4, which we may discuss with you on another setting po. But yung para po bang yung internet transmission over that internet protocol is hindi naman po nare-record lahat. And with yung ginagamit ng ating telco na ang IPv4 po kasi natin limited lang po 'yan. So kung gagamitin natin na 1:1 sa device po, hindi tayo mabibigyan lahat ng internet. Yung naging solution po diyan ng ating technology is i-shift sana natin sa Internet Protocol version 4 kung saan yung isang device po natin is using a single Internet Protocol address. Yun, talagang may attribution po agad tayo. Wala pa po tayo kasi doon sa ganung teknolohiya.
Teka, actually, tatlo na nga lang ang telco natin, no? Di ba? I mean, ganun pa yung problema niyan. Ibig sabihin, hanggang ngayon, yung anting signal, nagwawala pa. Pero pag pinag-usapan ng e-gambling, galing. Di ba? Nakakapagtaka kung bakit yung mga broadcast na ginagawa natin, mahina yung signal. Pero pag pinag-usapan ng e-gambling, matindi ang mga signal. Paki-explain nga sa amin, di ICT. Kapag problema nyo yan
Mr. Chair, yung mga naglalaro naman po ng mga online illegal gambling, talaga ho namang lumalapit sa mga lugar na magaganda ho naman talaga ang signal.
Baka siguro ganito kasi alam nyo, for example, ako meron akong tinatawag na digital technology, bilang tagapagsalita. Mas maganda ang signal sa Dubai to the Philippines daan compared to halimbawa Baguio to Manila. So ibig sabihin, mas maganda kung yung isabong, for example, ang nagmamay-ari overseas, hindi Pilipino. Sapagkat mas maganda yung signal.
Partially true po. Pero kung dito naman po kasi nire-receive ang signal na yan sa Pilipinas, it will be limited by the strength of our telcos naman po.
Well, that is the big challenge you have, the ICT, no? Ay kinakailangan, magagaling kayo dyan, kinakailangan magtulungan na tayo dito. The Congress can help and you can also help na talagang masolusyonan natin ang problemang ito. Now, go ahead.
Definitely po, kailangan namin ng tulong po ng Kongreso.
Yes.
And salamat po sa pagtukoy po sa suliranin pong ganun.
Pero
Salamat
na ng
po,
konektadong Pinoy na mismong si Secretary ang may niyan, di ba? I mean, now you are welcoming about how many? 1,000 na nag-a-apply ng mga providers na maliliit? O baka na naman ng ibang provider niyan, sa isabong na naman magagaling yan o sa online gambling?
I'm sure, Mr. Chair, that the Secretary will be very circumspect po sa screen ng mga
We will talk more about that, no. Ngayon, ito naman, DOJ, IAS, Napulcom, CIDG. Alam nyo, totoo lang, iba yung nababasa ng taong bayan sa pahayagan sa mga inyong testimony ngayon eh. Di ba? Now, you mentioned about what? 62 na mga tao, Asek Cruz. At sino yung mga 62 yun? That you filed charges to or what? Asek Cruz.
Your Honor, I do not have the official document with me today. But
You estimate how many? To your knowledge?
as mentioned by the CIDG director, there are 62 persons who are respondents on these cases.
O CIDG? O pakisagot nga, 62 respondents on this case. So how do you answer that?
Yes, Your Honor. We have already submitted the 62 names of the respondent to the DOJ, Your Honor.
Who are the 18 policemen included there?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Who are the other people? Are they private people or policemen or whatever?
They're private persons, Your Honor.
And you filed 7 charges against them. 7 complaints, di ba? Asek?
Yes,
Yung
Mr.
pito,
Chair.
yung nabanggit mong pito?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oo. And it is now under preliminary investigation.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, when will that be deliberated in court, for example? Kailan itatry sa korte yan?
After the preliminary investigation,
After when? When would that be? Kasi matagal na ito. Can you imagine, nagsimula tayo ng 2022? Oo, 8 pa lang yan ha. 8 pa lang ng 2022 yan. Ngayon, 34 na nakalista. Tapos, sinasabi ng dyaryo, may 100. Gusto kong malaman kung sino ang nagsabing 100, samantalang sa CIDG, 34 lang ang nakalagay dyan. Saan po galing yung 100? Halos lahat ng dyaryo nakalagay 100. So we would like to find out saan po ba nanggaling yung 100? Ngayon, ang taong bayan makakaalam yan, 34 lang ang nakalista sa inyo. Si IDG, pakisagot mo nga muna.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Insofar as the PNP is concerned, yung mga complainants na lumapit sa amin, sir, 34 ang nabanggit nila na missing, sir. So yun yung pinail namin na kaso, sir.
Okay.
So officially, sir,
34 lang
yan.
po ang missing.
Yes,
Hindi
Mr. Chair.
100.
We do not know, Mr. Chair. Basta ang recorded sa amin, sir, 34.
Gusto ko
missing
mo
persons,
sabihin sa ating mga nanonood, mga taong bayan, ha? We already have 34 in the list, di ba? Now, I would like to ask the Coast Guard, no? Nabanggit mo kanina, you already made 50 incursions to the Taal Lake, di ba? So, ilan na ba ang nahukay nyo sa Taal Lake?
Yung sa sir, sa recovery sir, pag nakuha namin kasi ini-evaluate di naman kami ang umahawak sir nung tini-turn over namin sir yung costo pag-ahon sir ng technical divers namin. Nakalagay na yan sir sa yung protection na namin sir na bag. Tini-turn over namin yung PNP forensic group sir ang nag-prepare niyan at nag-account. So, yun, hindi ko masagot, sir, kung ilan talaga yung
So, forensics ng PNP. Saan yung forensics? Okay, please give us your knowledge about that because Coast Guard, sinabi nila sa Coast Guard, ilan na ba ang na-retrieve nyo? Ilan na?
Sa diving
without the forensics first. Wala pa kayong result o ilan na ba na-retrieve ninyo? Ilan na?
Yung retrieve, sir, yung actual na nakukuha naming suspicious item, sir.
Yes,
Tini-turn
na mga
over namin sa...
na mga bangkay, for example, like kung sila ay skeleton na, by human bones na, whatever it might
Yung
be.
nagde-determine nun, sir, yung forensic group po, sir.
Yun, sila determine. Pero
Yes, sir.
kayo,
Kami, sir, yung
determine
recovery ng any suspicious na na object dun sa baba, iano namin sir, inaangat namin yun sir, then tiniturn over namin.
Okay, so ilang object na ang na-recover nyo?
Pag object sir, kasi ganito sir yung situation, if I may sir, if I may brief
Go
you,
ahead,
sir.
go ahead. We'd like to also welcome the arrival of Congressman Piñon with minority. Go ahead, go ahead.
In the span of, as I've mentioned kanina, sir, we've been doing the underwater diving operation for 50 days already, sir. Sustained yun, sir. But, of course, may mga gaps kami dun, sir, because of weather condition. Ilang beses tayong tinamaan, sir, ng bagyo, eh. Then, there are also times dun, sir, pa nag-ooperate kami. Ang situation sa baba, sir, ang divers natin, sir, ang maximum depth, sir, almost 80 plus feet. Ang dinadive na, kaya sir, ang ginagamit na tangke ng tropa natin, sir, mixed gas na yan. We're using nitrox para makatagal yung diver natin sa bottom magtrabaho. Now, we are also using, sir, ROB. Pero, of course, ang ROB, sir, pag ganun ka-murky, sir, hindi mo rin, sir, makakapa, eh. Wala naman senses, sir, ang ROB, eh. So, yung makikita ng diver ng ROB natin, sir, binabalikan niya ng divers natin, sir. So, in the span of 50 days na continued na operations natin, ang naiangat namin, sir, yung inangat namin, pero yung number niyan, sir, kung ilan yung laman niya ng mga sako, na-mention din, sir, ni Asek kanina, ang kinukuha ng divers natin, sir, nung nakita namin yung pattern is laging may dalawang sack, which is that is already considered as a sinker, then merong primary sack, sir, sa gitna para mailubog siya. So, ang na-recover namin, sir, is 19 na sir, na underwater operations na may nakuha kaming object. Yan, sir, hindi yan isa-isa. So, kaya na-mention ni Asek kanina, sir, umabot ng ilang daan, sir. Kasi parts yun, sir, eh.
Oh, in 50, hiwa-hiwala yan, ha? Sa 50 days, ha?
Correct, sir.
Okay. So, forensics, General, anong masabi po niyo?
Yes, sir. This is Police Brigadier General Danilo Paca, sir, the Director of the Forensic Group. Actually, sir, based on our records, as of August 22 this year, it started July 10, we recovered 401 bones. So,
Are they human bone?
yes, sir, yung human bones na. Then, out of those items, sir, there are a total of 163 samples were subjected to DNA. Then, the rest po nun, sir, ay hindi na po dahil nag-deteriorate na po. Wala na pong
How many are related to the missing Sabongeros according to the DNA?
as of
Hindi ko alam.
the report namin, sir, wala pa pong nag-match.
Wala pa.
Opo, doon sa mga samples na nakuha namin sa mga relatives ng mga missing sabongeros po.
Or, wala rin
Pero
kwenta
ongoing
wala
pa po
rin
yung
kwenta
aming
yung mga
examination.
investigasyon ginagawa ng ating mga agency dito. Kung wala kayong makikitang any human bone that will actually implicate maisasama nyo sa missing sabongeros on the DNA basis you have, di ba?
Yes, sir.
Magiging magiging walang kwenta rin ng investigasyon nyo as a Cruz because of that. So, please, go ahead, Asen.
With due respect, sir, sa inyong observation, I don't think so na hindi po ito mawawalang saysay. Kung matatandaan po natin, 34 po yung nawawala. At although we have reported that there are already 401 human skeletal remains or human bones have been recovered by the Philippine Coast Guard.
Teka, sir.
Yes, sir.
But you do not believe, meron ka pang salita, but you do not believe that all of those missing sabongeros tinapon doon sa Laal.
Yes, Your Honor.
Meron mga pagkakataon na nawawala sila and they were
Opo.
thrown somewhere else.
Opo.
Not only in Taal Lake.
Opo.
Meron na ba kayo nakita, ang CIDG for example, meron na ba kayo nakita na missing sabongero na tinapon sa ibang lugar, hindi lang sa Taal Lake?
Sir, if I may,
Go ahead.
if I may continue. Kasi po, when we compare DNA samples from the relatives, hindi po kasi lahat ng mga kamag-anak ng mga nawawalang sabongero ay nakipag-cooperate. Meron po kasing mga kamag-anak ng mga missing sabongeros ang napabalitang nagpabayad na. Kaya hindi po lahat ng mga relatives na kinakailangan namin,
Ibig sabihin nagbabayad na. Nagpabayad, binayaran
Opo.
na.
yun po ang balita namin. Pero sa ngayon po, hindi pa po kasi nakukumpleto ang mga DNA samples of the 34 missing sabongero relatives. Kaya hindi po natin maasahang talagang mape-perfect natin ang comparison dito. So, meron pa naman pong mahigit 300 samples pa ang hawak ng forensic group. Sana po pagtiwalaan po ninyo kami na meron pong mararating ang ating investigasyon.
Walang problema sa pagkitiwala, Asik eh. Ang problema natin, ito, iba yung nakalagay sa pahayagan, iba yung sinasabi ninyo. Yun ang problema natin. Sapagkat nalalaman po natin ang taong bayan hindi naman palagay ko naghihintay dito eh. No ha? Kaya nga itong committee ito ay napagkasunduan na imbestigahan po natin. So we would like to know the truth about all this. Ito'y briefing pa lang po ito. Hindi pa po ito hearing. Sapagkat kung hearing ito, meron na kayong OT po. Briefing lang to eh. Sapagkat kung ito'y hearing, ay mag-o-taking na kayo dito. At ang gusto lang natin malaman dito, mga kapatid, sa paglilingkod, ano ba talagang mangyayari sa investigation ito? For example, like, medyo sumingaw, ang sabi nyo, na meron ng mga binayaran ng mga biktima, ng mga mag-anak ng biktima. So, ilan na ba nabayaran? Sapagkat tatahimik na yan eh. Wala nang interest yan. Bayaran na sila eh. Kaya nga sinabi ko kanina, si IDG, sinabi ko kanina, may nabalita rin, na sumingaw din, na meron ng binayaran sa loob ng Philippine National Police tukol dito upang tumahimik na. Nawala na eh. In a short span of time, na ito'y nasa pahayagan ng ilang araw, biglang wala na eh. Wala na, as in, wala na. Wala ka na makikita anumang balita eh. You see, yun po yung concern namin dito, Asik, Bruce, di ba? I mean, sa pagkitiwala, kinakailan talaga magtiwala tayo eh. Di ba? Sapagkat kasama namin kayo sa paglilingkod eh. Oo. Pero kinakailangan lang po sa pagkitiwala natin ay ganito. Na sana naman eh, hindi manguna ang pera dito. Di ba? O tulad ng sinabi mo kanina, na nabayaran na yung ibang biktima, ibig sabihin, pera na ang namayani dyan, no? Kaya pag ang pera na namayani, di ba, tapos na ang investigasyon. Tama ho ba ako, si IDG? Kayo nag-iimbestiga eh.
Yes sir, tama po kayo. Pero I assure you, Mr. Chair, na yung yung aming commitment ay tuloy-tuloy.
What kind of assurance and commitment can you give us?
Personally, Mr. Chair, as Director of CIDG, I could, with all candor, tell you that I intend to finish this investigation hanggang ma-serve.
At hindi
ang
ka
justice.
kayang bayaran, correct?
Hindi po ako kayang bayaran, Your Honor.
Okay. Salamat, maraming salamat. Hindi under oath yan, hindi pa under oath yan. maraming salamat. Congressman Pino, meron ko bang tanong?
I think the important point was raised by Congresswoman Luistro, no, na kung walang body, magpo-prosper ba yung buong kaso na ito, no? So kung hindi murder, sabi naman pwede pa rin. May sinasite na jurisprudence. Another approach would be other charges may be filed, no? However, the fact remains na meron kayong natagpuang apparently human remains. Tama po ba yun? Human remains? Okay, so kanina sabi 400 plus. Tama ba ako? Okay. 401 bones. Okay. And are they all human remains? Bones? Hindi naman mga hayop yan or what? Ano po ba? Human ba? Na-determine na po ba yon?
Out of those, sir, actually, we have a result of about 355 specimens were consistent with the human skeletal remains or human bones. Then out of the 401, 46 specimen were non-human origin.
Okay.
So meaning to say po, hindi po sa tao.
So 355,
55 po na yung
definitely
mga buto.
human.
Yes po.
Okay. Of course, kung I mean, hindi pa tapos yung DNA matching. So, as of now, wala pa, no? Pero posible pa rin mag-match. Pero kung hindi mag-match, the fact remains that those are human remains na natagpuan sa ilalim ng taal. So, may question pa rin dito, ganun lang ba sa atin? May natagpo ang mga remains, ay bahala na. Ganon, no? So, kailangan pa rin malaman, dapat, di ba, kung kanino yon. At kung namatay ba due to natural causes or, maraming, hindi lang po yung sabongeros ang missing. Yung modus ng disappeared, di ba? Tapos hindi na matagpuan. Napakarami po niyan. Of course, hindi ito ang subject ng kasalukuyang hearing, pero alam na ba natin yung mga aktivista, mga nire-red tag, kasama rin yon, di ba? So, I mean, naghahanap din ang mga pamilya nila, matagal na, ng hustisya, hinahanap yung mga labi kung meron man ng kanilang mga kamag-anak. So ibig sabihin hindi po masasara ang usaping ito kung maging negative man yung matching with the sabongero. So ano po ang tanong lang, ano po ang gagawin ng DOJ, ng PNP with the human remains if all of them turn out to be negative sa kaso ng sabongero?
For the PNP forensic group, sir, that's why we encourage those relatives to submit their samples. Then, kung meron pa pong mga samples ng mga missing sabongero mismo na record, medical record, dental record, or other related to forensic examination po. Yun po ang ini-encourage namin dun sa mga relatives po ng ating mga missing sabongero para po ma-match natin dun sa mga na-recover po na.
So far, sa sabongero pa lang ang focus nyo. No? Pero halimbawa, of course, pwedeng accidental. How did those remains end up in the bottom of Taal? Pwedeng sabihin mong accidental, could be suicide, but it could also be murder, di ba? Foul play. So, pwedeng hindi sa sabongero, pwedeng drug war EJK victims. Could that be a possibility? Of course, pwede rin. Yung sinabi ko kanina, it could be victims of yung mga activists na disappeared. So, ang point ko lang po, hindi po ba yung nakikita ng DOJ at ng PNP na hindi pa po natatapos ang trabaho nyo at hindi pwedeng isara pag na-determine, okay, may sabongero, okay, tuloy ito, pero kung wala, ano, iwan na lang natin? Ganun po ba? So that's why I'm asking, what does the government now intend to do with these over 300 nakakabahala din po, no, na meron kayong natagpuang mahigit 300 na human remains. Hindi natin alam kung sino ang mga yan, pero mga tao po yan, no, na most likely mga kapwa Pilipino natin. Pero kahit hindi kapwa Pilipino, hindi natin alam, no, basta kailangan pong malaman. So ano po ang ano ang gagawin ng DOJ PNP dito? Yun po ang tanong natin. Since this is a Committee on Human Rights, no? You are the duty bearers, so what are you supposed to do?
Sir, on the part of the DOJ, ipagpapatuloy po namin ang aming supervision sa ating mga frontliners, particularly the Philippine Coast Guard and CIDG, to continuously search the Taal Lake. Kasi nga po, ang Taal Lake po ay 234 square kilometers. At ang pinakamalalim po rito ay 530 feet. Ang average na lalim po nito ay 330 feet. Nakikita namin na kahit papano po, maganda yung nagagawa natin sa tulong po ng Philippine Coast Guard. Karamihan po ng mga human remains na nakuha dito ay nakuha lamang sa lalim na 60 to 80 feet. Hindi po yung inaakala namin na ito'y tinatapon sa gitna. Malapit lamang ito po sa shoreline. And we hope that the last quadrant that the PCG will search, we will find a better result on this search. Yun po yung impormasyon that we have received from the Philippine Coast Guard. And hinihintay lamang po namin ang magandang panahon. At we are fully supporting the Philippine Coast Guard in this endeavor. Marahil po, hindi po natin ma-perfect man ang paghahanap dito. But kagaya nga po ng sinabi ninyo, hindi man sila ang mga missing sabongeros na hinahanap natin, but at some point we will be able to find solutions to other cases that have been unsolved in the past. Kaya patuloy po tayong mag-iimbestiga. As far as the DOJ is concerned, we will make sure that there will be no stone unturned in these cases.
Thank you po, Madam Mr. Chair.
Thank you,
Lamang po.
Congressman Tino. I'd like you to know that when 8 Tabungeros were declared missing doon sa Manila Arena, I already stood in the plenary hall and delivered my privilege speech to actually expose those 8 people, no? 8 pa lang yan. And that was, when was that? That was 2020, 2022. Before that time, no? 8 pa lang yan. Ngayon, 34 na. And ano man ang kalagayan ng mga yan, as you have told us, the prosecutor Reyes told us that very positive kayo that charges will be filed, no? And I do not believe that those missing sabongeros were all thrown into the Taal Lake. Eh. Baka mayroon pang nilagay dyan sa iba. Eh. Ano, ha? This committee expresses disappointment to this briefing because we are not able to find very good answers to what you're telling us, no? As comparing it to what the newspaper said. Because in the newspaper, they were very, very positive that the things will be happening soon. So sana, gawin natin lahat ang magagawa natin, no? Sapagkat Luca, after we will actually after the adjournment, the next would be sa Quadcom na eh. Ano, we will continue sa Quadcom na. And the Quadcom, magiging committee hearing na ito, no? Where every resource person and witness will now take an oath. Di ba? Ito. Meron akong hawak dito. Ano ang tawag dito? Ha? Martilyo. Yan ha. Martilyo ako dito, ha. Pag ginita ay nakakuha ng kalot, ha, ipupupukos sa sarili ko to. Hindi sa mga witness natin, ano po, ha? Okay. Anyway, I also would like to ask the Commission on Human Rights to do something about this as far as investigating this is concerned. No? We would like to find some answers. Oo. Kapag nagsimula po tayo ng Quadcom 2.0, in the next 2 weeks, we would like to really find answers to this. So, para matapos na po itong usaping ito, no? Sapagkat, Luca, yun lang war on drugs, nahihirapan tayong kumuha ng mga witnesses dito sapagkat natatakot din yung mga kamag-anak ng mga biktima na lumabas eh. Oh, I'm so glad na meron ng 300 na raw na mga biktima na pupunta rin sa ICC. Hindi ko alam pa sa ICC. Dito lang pwede na eh. Dito lang pwede na eh. Baka natatakot pa rin sila. Now, ito iba na ang kapulisan natin ngayon. Iba na. Sa administrasyon ng ating Pangulo, ang ating kapulisan ngayon ay lalong dapat pagkatiwalaan ng taong bayan. Nagagawin ninyo ang dapat yung gawin, para naman magkaroon ng tuwa ang taong bayan sa ginagawa ng ating Philippine National Police. No? Mula nung panahon ni Director General Torre hanggang ngayon, si Director General Nagtates, na alam ko na isa rin sa mga masigasig na mangunguna rito. Kaya I hope that I could be able to really be confident that our investigating agencies like DOJ, like the CIDG, the Philippine National Police, the IAS, alam mo ang IAS, saka yung NAPOLCO, may suki namin dito yan, sa Quadcom noong 19th Congress, no? I hope that we could be able to really entrust to you the need of the truth that our people should know. Okay, Congressman Tino, yes, you have the word.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Actually, parang follow-up lang po dun sa nabanggit nyo na yung buong Taal Lake ay how many square kilometers mo? Sir? 234 square kilometers. And natukoy nyo po yung particular na lugar na pinaghanapan nyo, di ba? Gaano kalaki po yung area na hinanap sinisid ng mga divers and so on. Now, the total search area of that 234 square kilometers, gaano kalaki yung na-cover na area?
Mr. Chair, per the intelligence information provided to us, sir, during our initial survey, there was a specific area pinpointed by the alleged witness.
Okay.
From there, of course, in reality, wala naman yan, sir, silang GPS na tinatawag. So, mata-mata lang. So, on our lenses and judgment as a expose sa mga conduct ng search and rescue, linawigan namin, sir, yung area. So, yung area na tinuro niya, sir, nag-conduct kami ng, we prepared it, yung search area, 300 by 186 meters at first.
Okay.
And divided it in 4 quadrants. From there, ina-adjust pa namin ulit, sir,
Okay.
pagka kasi may mga drift pa yan, sir.
Mhm.
So right now, ang ating area doon ay 300 meters by 300 na, sir. So, yung, sir, if I may, sir, let me continue. Yung 4 na quadrant, sir, first and third quadrant natin, sir. Yung first, sir, tapos na. Yung third ay totally patapos na, sir.
Okay.
So, we will be moving, sir, sa port as mentioned kanina.
So ongoing pa po yung
Yes, sir.
search nyo.
And imagine, sir, ang isang quadrant, inaabot kami ng halos 1 buwan.
So 300 by 300 meter square
Correct,
quadrant po.
Correct po, sir.
Ang total area na target yung ma-search.
Ma-search,
Tatay ito sa information
Provided,
na
sir.
binigay ng inyong informant.
Correct, sir.
No? Ang punto ko lang po ay sa sa lawak po ng Taal Lake. Sabi nyo nga, sorry again, 234 square kilometers. Ganong kalawak ito. Ang sinerch nyo lang, wala pang 1 square kilometer. It's only 300 by 300 square. And yet you were already able to turn, at hindi pa tapos yung search, and yet you were already able to recover over 300 pieces of human remains. No? So, ang punto ko ay mukhang may alam talaga yung informant. Di ba? Sa pagkalawak-lawak ng dagat, bakit dun sa more or less sa area na tinuro ay may ganung karami. So, meron talagang nalalaman at meron talagang sabihin, it is really ang explanation dito, mukhang possible explanation talaga, parang dumping ground talaga to. Killing field, you can call. Kaya lang, nasa dagat. Nasa lawa. No? So, ibig sabihin, meron talagang karumal-dumal na krimen, no, na nangyayari dito. Yung 300 remains could be hindi nyo pa ma-determine kung gaano karaming actual bodies yun. Meron ba kayong ganong information? Those 300 skeletal remains, are you able to determine whether or not they belong to, a specific number of individuals? Meron na po tayong alam? Okay. Wala pa po. Pero theoretically, it could be up to 300 individuals. Ang punto ko lang po, parang isang batalyon po yan ng mga bangkay, maximum, no? Na mukhang itinapon dun lang sa areang yun pa lang. Sa napakaliit na area pa lang, kung tutuusin, 300 meters by 300 meters square. Tama po ba? Okay. So, meron pong matinding human rights violations na naganap dito. Kaya tama lang po yung sinabi ni Chair. Definitely, the Commission on Human Rights also has to be involved. And ako, Mr. Chair, ngayon pa lang sasabihin ko na kung sabihin man, in the end, hindi pa tapos, pero kung sabihin man nila, ay wala tayong match sa missing Sabongeros, case closed, ay hindi po pwede. No? Napalitaw na ang mga human remains na ito. It is incumbent upon both the executive and also Congress to see this through. No, because sabi ko nga up to isang batalyon ng mga bangkay ang nandyan at walang mananagot, walang investigasyon, hindi po pwede. No, so yun po yun. Mr. Chair, yun ang punto na gusto kong i-diig.
We would like,
Mr. Chair.
kung pwede lang, na lahat po ng mga report and document to be submitted to us. No? ASEC, General, at Attorney, Kalanisan, all of the reports should be submitted to us on this. In the next hearing we have, it will be most probably Quadcom na po ito, and we are now going to call even the victims, the relatives of the victims, and even the so-called whistleblowers will be called upon, no, to shed light on the missing Sabongeros. Yes, Congressman Zia.
Well, Mr. Chair, I think we have exhaustively discussed as an initial meeting all the topics of the Isabong and the missing Sabongero are concerned, and I guess just before I move for the adjournment of this meeting, I just like to be clarified as to the numbers kasi it's worrisome. I was listening to Representative Tino. I agree with him. It's unfair to also label Lake Taal kasi Lake Taal is one of our tourist destination in Luzon. So it's really unfair for Lake Taal to be labeled as a dumping site for murdered individuals. So 300 pieces of remains is just really worrisome, no? So I just like to, for the record, no, to keep the record straight, make the record straight also. May I ask Bacas, because I guess General Bacas was the one who mentioned about this 300 remains. Are we talking of remains like skeletal remains, or do we do some accounting and then your office was able to determine the number of possible individuals thrown in or dumped in Lake Taal?
Yes, sir.
Or are these just pieces, skeletal pieces or remains
Yes, sir.
that do not necessarily belong to a single or number of persons in particular?
Yes.
Kasi nakakabahala, 300, baka iba yung lumabas sa media.
Opo, Mr. Chair. Actually, doon sa 355 na specimen na po, puro po itong mga
So
buto.
specimen siya.
Opo.
Okay,
buto-buto
just to be
po
clear,
ito.
baka iba lumabas sa media, nakakagulat.
Opo. Mga buto po ito, maliliit at saka medyo mahahaba yung iba po. So, may mga sizes po siya.
So, ibig sabihin,
Then, out of those po, ay nakapag-generate po tayo sa ating DNA na doon sa Taal po, 3 human remains po. Isang babae, tsaka 2 lalaki.
so you were able to make a proper accounting of these 3
Opo.
remains that you have recovered.
Yes po.
No? Ibig sabihin, ulo hanggang toes, kompleto siya. Tama?
Based on the DNA examination conducted po.
Tama. So, 3.
Opo.
But the 300 remains, you are referring to 300 skeletal pieces,
Opo.
not individuals, ha?
Not individual.
Okay. So, di ba sa mortem examination, you can also able to determine yung how long or the duration of from the time, halimbawa, na namatay yung tao up to the time that you recover it. Can you also determine the duration of the time, kung ilang years, ilang taon, ilang weeks siyang nandoon, kung saan nyo ito natagpuan?
Mr. Chair, pwede ko po ma-refer sa ating medical legal
Yes.
officer po.
Kasi na-remember ko, it happened in 2017 during the Marawi. We also requested the services from your office, and then you did a post-mortem examination. You were able to find out how long these remains were, in the state of their advanced decomposition before they were recovered. Tama po ba? You were able to, kasi the time, importante rin ho sa investigation na ito, yung oras kung kailan hinulog doon, magkakasunod ba to, ano ba yung differences in terms of yung pagtapon sa kanila. Because we're talking about possibly, sabi nga ni Chairman, possibly these are victims of EJK. So makikita natin yung periods nung time na pinatay sila. So I think part din doon, can you also able to do some examination as to the timeline nung pagkamatay. Diba? Tama po ba?
Your Honor, if I may,
Yes.
Police Colonel Carpio, Medical Legal Officer and the Deputy Director for Operations of Forensic Group. Sir, about the range of the bones or the remains, at least, sir, with the toponymy, it is where the body changes after death.
Yes.
So with the Taal Lake, because of so many factors such as the chemicals, such as the oxides, the algae, and other factors, we can range up with regards to toponymy around 4 to 5 years and above, because of the conditions of the skeletons.
No, I'm talking about, so ibig sabihin, you cannot conclusively determine yung mga na-recover nyo ng mga remains doon, kung anong oras, anong taon o ilang taon silang nandoon sa Taal.
Yes, sir. So, dami po ng factors na
Yes, because of
i-consider mo, sir.
yeah, okay. Okay,
Of the contents, of course, of the sulfur, of the oxides within the Taal Lake, sir. That's why doon sa aming nakuhang mga profile ng DNA, we can conclude that there are 6 individuals and above because the 6 are all confirmed by DNAs. So may 6 na po tayong DNA profile na nakuha doon sa Taal Lake. With regards to the 300 plus bones, are all bones na iba't ibang parte ng katawan ng tao. So presumably, sir, ang isang tao kasi is more than 200 plus bones. That's why we need to confirm through DNAs kung itong lahat ng bones na ito ay nasa isang tao or 10 tao o 20 tao. That's why we need more time.
Pati yung oras, yung timeline, ito I think is important, Mr. Chair, na ma-determine din kung anong oras. Ay yung panahon kung saan nagkaroon ng ganitong pagtapon. Kasi doon ma-determine din kung meron talagang effort at saka meron talagang systematic na ginawa yung ganitong klaseng pagpatay at hinulog sa isang lugar, no? Tama po yung sinabi ni Congressman Tino. Talagang alam na alam kung saan pupuntahan, eh, 'di ba? Ibig sabihin, meron talagang systematic at may nag-uutos. Yun ang gusto nang malaman ng committee na ito, eh, 'di ba? Kasi this can also be I read also in one of the periodicals, Mr. Chair, that this can also be attributed to the EJK. Kaya importante po yung time frame and timeline dito. That's why I'm asking you, would you be able to determine kung anong year, ilang taong, anong month, ilang gaano sila katagal at gaano yung pare-pareho nilang in terms of duration ang nakita nyo ng mga pieces of bones dyan sa Taal.
With regards to this, Your Honor, as I have said, na marami ito talagang factors. Yung chemical factors, yung depth, even the depth of the Taal Lake, which is 100 and above, will also cause changes of the bones. That's why we will have a difficulty of confirming exact dates or exact years of this skeleton was there in the bottom of the Taal Lake, sir.
Thank you. Yeah. Mr. Chair, having no other members who wish to ask questions,
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Chair. I move that we adjourn this hearing, Mr. Chair.
Okay, before I rule on the adjournment, PNP Human Rights Division, Colonel, will you please coordinate with the Commission on Human Rights on this also? Please, magtulungan na lang kayo. Okay, so, no objection, the meeting is adjourned. Maraming salamat po sa inyo.
Mag-subscribe at i-click ang notification bell para sa mga susunod na video updates. Maraming salamat po.